intro to practical shooting. This is the Humble Marksman, and I appreciate you tuning in. This is just the equipment that is not the pistol and not your holsters, magazines, all that stuff. I'm going to assume you already have that sorted out. But you might be curious, what are some good things that you need to have in your range bag to go to any sort of practical pistol match? So number one is going to be eyes and ears. You must have those with you. If you are very new, you may not think to bring those because you rent them from the range. If you're going to a practical pistol match, there's a strong chance it's going to be outdoors, and that stuff's not going to be available to you, so you need to have your own set of eyes and ears. Bring that with you. Number two is going to be a hat. Generally speaking, people shoot during the spring, summer, fall where it gets pretty hot. I'm in Georgia, and it routinely gets up over 90, approaching 100 degrees for 4 or 5 months of the year. So the level of hat I wear is going to depend on how hot it happens to be that day. On most days, I'll just run a ball cap, and that's fine. When it's really hot, I'll wear these goofy sun hats, and they're fantastic. Moving on from there, another good piece of kit is going to be a pistol rug. Keep your pistol in one of these unloaded in your bag, and that's the easiest, safest, cleanest way to put a pistol up and put a pistol on without handling a pistol. You can walk around with a pistol rug, nobody's going to care. They come in all shapes and sizes. This is available from LA Police Gear for about $8. Only problem is it's got magazine pouches in here, which you may be tempted to use. If this is a pistol rug you're using for a practical pistol match, you're not allowed to handle ammunition or magazines in the safe area, or you'll be disqualified. So if you do have one of these, take the magazines out prior to putting this in your bag and going to the range. Do not keep the magazines in there with the pistol, because somebody might look at you crossways and get you DQ'd. So don't do that. Next is, most ranges in the United States are an hour from a major city or more, and half of them have clubhouses with running water, heat, electricity, and some of them don't. So bring with you a cooler bag, fill it full of water, snacks, whatever. Do not bring snacks you have to eat with your bare hands. You're shooting a weapon that's going to discharge lead salts all over your hands as the primers ignite. So you want to get stuff like bananas, like sticks of beef jerky, sandwiches that are wrapped up so you don't have to actually touch them. Most of these matches can run the better part of all day, from about 10 to 3 p.m. So you're going to miss a meal while you're on the range. If that's a big deal to you, make plans for it. Most of the time I don't even notice. Water is the most important thing, so bring plenty of that. Another good thing to have with you is, if you've got really simple gear, you may not need it, but a multi-tool and a screwdriver aren't a bad thing. The pliers on the multi-tool are very useful for a whole host of reasons. This is the bad one. I actually have 2 in my bag. I've got a whole bunch of tools in my bag to work on guns, and that's not a bad thing. Sunscreen. I really like the Bullfrog Quick Gel SPF 50. I'm not exactly sure if this keeps mosquitoes away. I know that the other Bullfrog sunscreen does. I really like the Sport Gel, and that's pretty good. I just, as a rule of thumb, I'll put it on after every 2 stages with big squads. A stage will generally take about an hour to go, or a squad will take about an hour to go through a stage. So about every 2 hours, I just reapply sunscreen, good to go. A large trash bag and about a freezer bag. If you shoot a steel gun, and even if you don't, it's not a bad thing to have in your bag. And what that's for is, if it starts to rain, you just throw that sucker on over your pistol, and it's going to stay dry. The big bag you can use to put over your whole range bag to keep dry, which is a good thing, or you can punch holes in it and have a terrible poncho. That's not a bad thing either. So I have to keep 2 trash bags in my range bag, and a couple of these in case I need to keep away. Shower caps work too. You can spend a bunch of money and get ones with your gun company name on it if you want, but I would not recommend that. If you're shooting IDPA, your trusty concealment garment. Bring a vest. That's what everybody else uses. That's generally regarded as the fastest way to get to your weapon and magazines. So a good concealment garment, you're going to need one of those at an IDPA match. One thing that I really like, I am 6'5", better part of 250 pounds. when I move my weight around on a gravel surface, I'm wont to fall over. So I actually got a set of super cheap football cleats. If you have some of these kicking around, it's not a bad thing to wear. Trail running shoes are really popular. I had some of those too, but it just didn't quite give me the traction I needed. These are actually rubber molded cleats. They do pretty good for me. Gives me good purchase. I don't slip and fall on my launches. The only downside is if there's likely a single action club that shoots at your same pistol club, then you're going to have all these ridiculous cowboy towns kicking around that have porches, and a lot of matches will use the porches as part of the shooting area. Got to be careful with these on those, because if you catch a screw or a nail or a board a little bit wrong, it'd be a lot easier to trip wearing these. But the risk is definitely worth the reward for me. I can move a lot more confidently and aggressively with cleats. You don't have to have these. Again, trail running shoes, some dudes wear combat boots, whatever you happen to be comfortable with. I like to wear these because I like to go fast, and I like to keep my regular shoes not covered in dust. So that's that there. So those are all just kind of nice to have things to be sure to bring with you. The people you're going to meet there are going to be really great. It's kind of a self-selecting crowd, so there's a good chance you'll have shared morals, values with the folks that you see there, but it's just going to be folks from entirely different backgrounds than what you're typically accustomed to high-end investment bankers, to elevator mechanics, car mechanics, and everything in between. Just people who like turning noise into money, or turning money into noise, pulling triggers, and have a competitive streak are the folks who are going to show up. And so it's a good time. Kind of, I guess another thing is, if it's cold, dress in layers and bring gloves.